Hi everybody, welcome back. We're back on with the engine. Now if you remember from an early video, you know it ate its push rods. Now I figured out why. It turns out it's quite common, but the heads I've got, the valves sit at a different angle, and I'll just explain to you why it's done it. Now if you saw my previous videos, you'll know that the push rods wore away like that, where they sit into the forks. Now the reason for that is, on a standard engine, the valves sit pretty square. Well, on this, you can see it's quite exaggerated there, that the valves sit at a different angle because of the shape of the combustion chambers. Now, that was caused by them going through the guide, and because the valve sits at an angle, I'll just exaggerate that slightly, and it's pushing up and down there, it's pushing against there, because the angle wants the rockers to turn. Now the rockers can't turn because of this guide and the rod, so the rods are pushing against the guides constantly. There is on these rockers, if I just take the cap off, two tiny little tags there, one there and one there, to help, but you can see by there, if I can show you, it's all peened over. The camera's rubbish. You see it's peened over, it's actually touching the ball, the bearing there. There is some worse ones, but this was the first one I picked up. So that means that this has been bouncing around. Let's just get that back on. Off to side. So, they're scrap. They've done half an hour, you know, it's not a complete loss. Now, the only way to prevent that happening again is to either upright the rods and replace the rockers, which would still need these guide plates. But I don't want these guide plates. I don't want to risk it happening again. So, I bit the bullet. And we got some of these from Australia. Not the most expensive ones, but nowhere near the cheapest. And I'll show you how these work now. I've got one set up there. So as you can see, we've got an old rocker and a new rocker. These ones are a stud mount, so they mount on a stud. These ones are a pedestal mount, so they sit on this pedestal and bolted down. Now, to stop them twisting, we don't use the guides. We've got a hole there, and we put a pin through. So these sit onto there. We line it all up and we drill through to put a pin. So I'll just sit one of those on for you and I'll show you. There we go, that's the one I was just showing you a second ago. It's sat on. It's just nipped up. There's no holes drilled because we need to... This camera's rubbish today. We need to make sure that we're sat square onto the top of the valve, work it through its movement. We need to sit in the centre of the valve. So I've just dropped a push rod in there. That will sit there. So when this push rod pushes up and down, it's going to want to turn it like that. But it's not going to be able to, because once it's tightened up and that pin's in, it's solid. So there's quite a complicated fitting procedure for these, for the guy in his shed, to set up the clearances and things. But there we go, Australian, upside down. What's the worst that can happen? We even get, it's in the box somewhere, but we even get a tool there to line them up for the drilling the holes. So, wish me luck. As you can see, access is pretty easy on this engine because it's mid-mounted. The front two cylinders may be quite awkward to drill the holes, but I'll get around that. And hopefully we'll have it running again soon. And I'd like to thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe, and maybe one day I'll get a haircut. See ya.